Andrea, you've got some really nice rides coming up on Saturday. One of them is in the third early on, Lucky Symphony, who got the job done last time out in pretty good style. You must be looking forward to getting back on board him.
Yeah, no, it's a lovely horse that he's very lightly raced, and he hasn't done much wrong so far, obviously winning the last day. So he's a horse that we've always liked. He showed a lot of ability when he first arrived in Hong Kong, and he finally managed to put it all together. And like I said, he won last time, and he won quite nicely. So hopefully he can do the job again on Saturday.
He looks like quite a sort of tractable horse, Andrea. I mean, you were able to sort of stalk and then pounce and showed a good turn of foot when required last time.
Yeah, although he probably would have won anyway, but I thought he did win the race coming out of the gates. When the gates opened, he was 2 lengths clear, and then we were drawn 14, which wasn't ideal. We were drawn 11 on Saturday, which is not ideal either. But once he came out of the gates and he was 2 lengths in front, I managed to get across without spending too much, and I just sort of off the pace, and he won quite nicely. His trial since has been good, and listen, he's still in class 4. He's carrying top weight. He's a big horse, so I don't think the top weight will be an issue. We're drawn 11, which is not a deal, but hopefully if we can get a clean jump and trying to get a good position again, hopefully it can go close again.
And just a line on that trial, Andrea. I mean, it was a taking trial win actually. I thought it was quite impressive.
Yeah, but he's always trial sort of that way. Even early on when he first arrived, he was always a good trial horse. He just needed things to sort of come together, and they finally have. And like I said, his trial was good. He's a beautiful looking horse, and also one thing that would help his chances too is this rain. I think a bit of juice in the ground won't help it. It depends obviously how much rain. If we get anything today, how much it's going to dry up. But if he can get his toe in, that would be a big help for him too.
David Eustace, Dazzling Fit did a pretty good job for you on only his third run last time out. That was went up to the 1,400 metres, and he looks like a horse full of potential.
Yeah, I thought it was a good effort, albeit the pace was on in the race, and he was sort of settled into the second half of the field, was probably the right place to be. But he found the line well, and he's trained on nicely.
Nice turn of foot, David, as well. I mean, he showed the sort of a good acceleration when called upon, and I mean, he's gone to the line, quite comfortably in the end.
Yeah, he's always shown that turn of foot in his trials and bits and pieces in his races. So it's nice for him to sort of put it all together, albeit he's still a little bit new in his racing. So another run this season, and we'll see how he comes through that. I think it'll be his 4th start, which is probably enough, but we'll just see how he is post-race.
Talking of trials, you have trialled him since as well. Was that just a case of sort of maintenance with him, just to sort of keep him ticking over?
Yeah, very easy trial. I think now he's got a little bit deeper into the season, had a few runs. He's probably not quite as sharp, but he worked to the line fine, and he's definitely a horse we'll appreciate further next season.
He's clearly a very nice young horse, obviously, as they do here in Hong Kong Style 52. We're privy to such information as to how many horses and what horses are in said stables. You've got, I think, around about sort of a dozen or more, sort of 52 unraced horses. So a few more nice ones to unleash before the end of the season?
There's horses to run. They sort of don't necessarily strike me as horses who are going to go there and win first time. Get some education into them, and if they're good enough, great. But just not going to force it.
Andrea, a couple of Group 3s on the programme Saturday. You've got Johannes Brahms lining up over the mile, coming back in trip. He's had a little bit of a break, but classy horse, isn't he?
Oh, he's a nice horse. I thought his run in the Derby was a solid run. It was a good run. I think if I don't think we got the best of runs. I thought if I'd have got a better run later on, I think it would have finished a lot closer. So it was a big run in the Derby. Obviously, he hasn't run since. Pierre kept him fresh for this race. I think he's had 3 trials since, sort of a couple of maintenance trials, a little bit more stronger the last day, and he seems in good form. Pierre is happy with him, so yeah, fingers crossed. I think he's with a lightweight, he's got a good chance.
Yeah, for sure, but we'll touch upon that weight in a moment. I mean, as far as the distance is concerned, I mean, 3 back when he won that race over the mile, that Class 2, I mean, that was a taking when I, for one, Andrea, always thought maybe he was more of a sprinter, but he's certainly proved me wrong. Has he proven you wrong a little bit?
For sure. When he first arrived, I remember I think I did his first ever trial in Chumphua, and it felt like a sprinter to me. He was built like a sprinter, and all of a sudden, just Pierre managed to relax him a lot more. Every time I'd ridden him, he seems a lot more relaxed. So they've done a brilliant job to sort of switch him off, because he could have easily been a sprinter, say if they want him to. He's pretty quick if you look for him, but he just seems more and more relaxed every time I ride him. Even if you see his trials now, he just goes through the motions a bit more. But even in a derby, although it's 2,000 meters, yeah, he did grab a little bit on the back straight, but it wasn't as bad as it could be. So, but you know, a mile is going to be his gig. I think dropping back to a mile will be a big help for him, and he's another horse that hopefully if the ground stays sound, you know, with the rain we've had, it could only help him.
Interesting race, isn't it, really? I mean, you mentioned the lightweight, of course, always a big help. From a form analyst point of view, they're always really tough races to sort of decipher and work out. They're hard races to win, though, these, aren't they, these Group 3s? But when you've got 1:15 only or thereabouts, it makes your life a little bit easier.
For sure. They're difficult to win, but there's a big difference in weights from sort of top to bottom. And carrying 115, it's a big help on a horse that could potentially be a group horse in time. So yeah, it's a big help, and it's got a nice enough draw. It's a very open race, and there's quite a few horses in there with the lightweights. But I'd say of the lightweight horses in with the lightweight, I think he's the one that sort of brings in a bit more form. And but yeah, no, I like the horse, and hopefully he can get his head in front again before the end of the season.
Pierre, looking ahead to the weekend, a couple of Group 3 races. In the sprint division, you've got both Mugan and Beauty Waves. Just an update on that pair. How are they? Obviously, you must be quite confident going into that race.
I wouldn't say confident, but they're doing well. Mugan took him a while to bring his form back. Keres trialled him the other day, was very happy with him. And Beauty Waves we tried to hold him back before the couple of races, but didn't work really well. I think this race will just brought him along, find it easier with the lightweight.
And I guess with a horse like Beauty Waves, Pierre, I mean, he's had a tough season, hasn't he? Like, he's had to compete at the top table. I guess this race and its conditions probably suit him that bit better. Would that be fair?
Of course, without carrying, everyone thinks it will be more easier, you know. So he's won a Group 3 before, so hopefully he can do it again. 1200. I do believe he's still got something for us.
Yeah, and if you had to sort of, I don't want to ask you to sort of split the two or you know, come out with one on top of the other, but would you say they're pretty well evenly matched, the pair of them going into this race?
Yes, pretty even, both with the lightweight. Depends on the pace. I think it will be more than average. One is growing in the front and one come from behind. Hopefully we get it.
You've also got Johannes Brahms and Kying Generation in the race over a bit more ground. Johannes Brahms, I thought, was a very interesting horse coming into this race. I mean, some of his form this year has looked very good.
Yes, after the Derby, we decided not to run him until the Group 3 mile. He trialled really well last week with Andrea on him. And hopefully we time it right with the lightweight in the Group 3, and then we probably go on the Group 3 18 next month.
And what about Kying Generation as well there, Pierre? Obviously he's a horse with some pretty handy form in the book too.
Yes, unfortunately he bled last December. Took him a while to bring his form back again. The mile wouldn't be his best distance. Hopefully he can have a good warm-up run, and same he'll go again in the Group 3 1800, but still not the best distance for him. So just prepare for the next season.
David Eustace, we've got a couple of Group 3 races coming up. You've got Victor, the winner, lining up in the sprint race, the Vars, this weekend. How is he? I mean, you've only had him for a couple of runs, and they've been tough asks so far.
Yeah, look, his first run put a line through completely. He trained great into the Group 1 the other day, but obviously, you know, tough assignment for any horse off the back of 10 weeks and drawn 10 and asked to go forward. And I thought he, you know, stuck on okay for a horse who obviously got tired. So trained on well. You know, I can't fault him in his action, how he looks, and his sort of generosity in his work as well. You know, that he's at home, he certainly wants to do it. So first time he's getting weight off another horse for a little while, and we've drawn a nice gate. And there's been a rain around, so if he doesn't put in a performance tomorrow, then yeah, we've probably got to consider his future.
Okay, sure. And I guess with the weather sort of in prospect, I mean, there has been a bit of rain around. Are you sort of hoping that, you know, the fact there might be a little bit of sting out of the surface will suit this fellow?
I think it'll suit him, but it'll probably suit the rest of the field as well. There's plenty of good horses. Helios Express probably would like it, and certainly, as we know, Invincible Sage will too. So yeah, it'll suit him, and it'll probably make him that little bit more comfortable, but so will others.
He's had a trial since that last one. Trial looked good.
Trial was good, yeah. Showed good enthusiasm, stretched well, pulled up well. So yeah, looking forward to seeing how he can run.
Frankie Law, we've got a good card of racing coming up on Saturday, and you've got everyone's star lining up towards the end of the programme. That was a nice win under Joe Moreira last time.
Yes, last time he got a draw one, so he can easy to get a good position, and then in the straight he get over the gap. He just win the race for me. Yeah.
He came here, Frankie, off a mark of 65, so he had to start in Class 3, but he's done well in only 4 runs to date, hasn't he?
Yes, you know the first start, I think he got outside draw also, so he need to take it back, and he have a strong finish. And but anyway, I think he got some ability. Yeah.
You've given him a trial since then, Frankie, as well. Was all well with the trial? I mean, he's run 6th in it, but he looked good.
Yeah, usually he's like this. I think maybe he don't like the dirt. Yes, and but anyway, he's 14, 16 meters horse. I think he's okay. Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about that. I mean, you did try him over the 1600. Obviously, brought him back in trip to win. Is it a possibility that you'll re-explore the mile in due course? Do you think he will still get a mile?
I think he still can get a mile, but sometimes a mile, the pacing may be not really fast. I think this horse, if the pace fast, I think should be better for him. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you've got the right man on board as well, Zach Purton running for the first one. I must ask you about your runners in the Group 3 races on the programme as well. They've actually both trialled in the same trial, didn't they? Lucky with you and happy together. How are both those horses?
Both horses trial good, and lucky with you is Orman, and but the weather. If tomorrow's raining, maybe a little bit not too good for him, and then the other happy together. He's good form, yeah.
Just from a trainer's perspective, Frankie, just finally, I mean, those Group 3 races we run here in Hong Kong, they're hard races to win, aren't they? I mean, they can be very competitive races, can't they?
Yes, always like this. But, you know, some Group 3 races, the lightweights looks a bit better. But anyway, we need to try hard, yeah.
Jimmy Orman, you've got winning gold lining up in the last race on Saturday. I thought he was really good for you last time in winning. That was the 3rd time you'd ridden him, and he'd come good. He looked like a nice ride, and another nice ride to have here.
It was a great winning effort last start. We were drawn tricky. Every time I've ridden him, he's been drawn tricky, and unfortunately, again, we're drawn out wide again. But last start, we got sick of going back and making up too much ground, so we decided to roll the dice, and the intention was to be midfield, try and slot in one off the fence 3 deep with cover. That didn't eventuate. They went at a steady clip, and we strolled up outside the leader and got a nice time of it. Kicked along in the straight, and we were too good. So the plan come off last start. We'll just have to see what happens. I'd imagine we would do something similar again here, just because if we're too far back, he does struggle a little bit to make up that ground. He comes with a powerful turn of foot, but it just seems to run out of time, you know. So ideally we get we draw a barrier and end up sort of midfield one off the fence, which hasn't happened. So I'd talk to Chris, see what he wants to do, but I think we'll be hard to beat if we can get into a nice spot.
Yeah, he looks a strong child. I mean, for a long time, Jimmy, he'd always been sort of a 1400 metre horse, but he got the mile really, really well last time, didn't he?
Yeah, he did, and I suppose that help that he could use his customary speed a little bit more to get up outside the leader last start over the miles. So yeah, look, he hit form. His runs before his last start were good too, without winning. So confident again tomorrow, and yeah, he goes up a little bit in weight, but I think that shouldn't worry him too much.
What might be perhaps a slight worry, I'm not sure if it is, you can tell me more. I'm not sure if you and Chris will be watching the skies any, but he loves to hear his hooves rattle, doesn't he? He loves the quick ground. I know we've had a little bit of rain around, so you probably won't want much more of that before race day.
Yeah, probably not. I haven't ridden him in the wet, so I'm not sure about that. But yeah, his form suggests that. But you know, this track here seems to get a little bit of rain and still can be quite firm. So we'll just have to see how the track plays tomorrow. But there is some rain around, so I'd imagine there will be a little bit of give in the track.
Yeah, we are in the last, so hopefully if it does stay dry, you should be okay. And I must ask you about Beauty Eternal. Picking up the ride on him. I know you probably don't know too much about him, but nice to have a ride there in the Lion Rock Trophy. Group 1 winner, let's not forget, so we know he's got the class.
He has. I remember watching him, you know, years ago when when he was striking good form. So, yeah, he's a really classy horse. Drawn a lovely barrier, should get a lovely run wherever I want to put him. And yeah, if we can just strike some old form, we definitely win, you know, there's no doubt about that. So he's got the form on the board. His trial was good. So yeah, very excited to be on him, and yeah, can't wait to make the most of that.
Nice to get these rides from Mr. Size, of course. He needs little to no introduction, and nice to get on some of the good ones for him as well.
Yeah, look, obviously 1,600 winners. John Size, that's a remarkable effort in itself, and yeah, he's a master trainer, there's no doubt about it. Someone I've looked up to for, you know, even before I came here watching Hong Kong racing. So yeah, awesome to ride for him, and hopefully I can get a result for him.